guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here on my home turf, and guess what? We have that smaller size luxury spec crossover SUV from an American car brand I think a lot of people forget about. What is it? It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Buick Envista, the top luxury trim known as the Avenir. But before we get into this small size with a big value pack punch of a crossover SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. So just a few years ago, Buick launched that Wildcat concept car. And even though, unfortunately, they didn't turn it into a full production vehicle, they did take a lot of the styling cues and bring it not only to this new Envista, but also to the rest of the Buick vehicles. Now, this is the smallest entryway into the Buick family, and what the brand wanted to do is bring a lot of value for this type of vehicle. Now, what's cool about it is that it's a sportback. So it has that liftback design, but a nice almost like coupe, SUV coupe style to it. But what I want to find out is if you're looking for something that has some luxury to it, something that has some big value to it, and of course style, is this Buick Envista Avenir the way to go over the competition? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, like I said, the design, I really feel like they made a nice, modern, fresh design. And one thing I always think about is if this had a different brand logo on it, say like an Audi, would people think differently about this vehicle? New color for 2025, it's called Cinnabar. It really has a nice ruby sparkle in this Florida sun. Now at the front of the business, you can clearly see the Wildcat face. You're gonna have those LED daytime running lamps. Look at the way on the interior, they did a nice texture that kind of glimmers. Working your way down, you do have LED projector beam headlights. My one zonk is the fake corner vents. Make them functional, or even better, put some LED fog lamps there. Now, because this is your entry trim, what am I saying, your entry trim? Because this is not your entry trim, this is the top trim known as the Avenir, you get some bling bling in chrome. So we have a little bit of this boomerang shape here with some chrome style to it. And then as we come across that really sporty style front end, I'm liking the dark chrome that they did on the mesh grille. I wish they would have done the dark chrome on the other accents. A bright metallic silver area, kind of like a lip that extends out. And then the rest of this is functional because you do have an intercooler behind all the opening venting in the center lower portion of the nose. One of my favorite things, something so simple, after so many years, they finally updated the Buick badge, and I really feel like it brings it into the 21st century very nicely. But let me know what you think about the face of this vehicle. It's interesting because there's not a lot of competition for a vehicle like this. You may think Mazda CX-30, that would be close competition. The other way you would have to go is step up to a Mercedes, to a BMW, or an Audi, and that's gonna come with a big, huge price tag. So very fascinating the direction that Buick has picked with this vehicle. Now, as we rise up, love that smooth curve, a little bit of a peak that kind of traces itself in the center, and then it disappears, and then you have these two sharp indentations on both sides. Gives it some character. When we come around the bend, because this is the Avenir trim, you are gonna get these hand-polished aluminum wheels, split spoke design. If you're wondering, well, Joe, what is the size of the wheel? You're basically looking at a 19-inch wheel, which is a good size on a subcompact. Tires are gonna be 245 on the width, nice 45 series sidewall. And I do like on the Avenir how everything is painted that Cinnabar color. They should have called it Cinnabon. I could go, the mall's right up the street. Maybe Steven and I will go get some Cinnabons after this. Hot, fresh. But I like the painted fender openings. Coming down the side, you got your Cinnabar on your mirror caps, turn signals nicely placed, some gloss black, nothing too crazy. bright shiny metal because this is Avenir along just the top, which is okay. And then you do have the Avenir name down below. One of the things that kind of blows my mind with this being the top trim is that there's no sunroof available. And that to me is a bummer, because if you look at like the Mazda CX-30, you can get a sunroof. I mean, pretty much almost every other subcompact crossover SUV, from the Trailblazer to the Taos, all these different vehicles from these different manufacturers. Interesting how you can't get a sunroof. And it's going to be interesting to see from a subcompact standpoint what that new Nissan Kicks does. So that's another unknown. Now, my favorite part of the side profile, of course, is that sport back roof design. Gives it a nice, youthful appearance to it. You'll notice how the bright, shiny metalwork turns into this huge, sharp steak knife area. And there is a little bit of gloss black, but I don't know if Steven could pick it up. It's got some groovy design in it, which kind of gives it a little bit more oomph rather than just being gloss black. Love the body line coming into the rear quarter panel, into the rear taillights. And then when we come around, I almost want to jump on the car because of how good it looks. That sport back roof design has a little bit of kick up on the lift gate area. They did a great job on the lighting. And look at that, no old-fashioned Thomas Edison light bulbs. Buick name nicely prominent with the new Buick badge. And then working our way down the ground level, we do have a meaty chrome piece to match the chrome up front, some metallic silver, and then Cinnabar to finish it off. Even the way that they did the reflectors, I like the way they dropped that in. I don't like the way the taillights are down here. Why in the heck do manufacturers do that? You have the lighting up top. Why are we putting it on the bottom? Doesn't make any sense to me. But there's a lot of things in this world that don't make sense to me. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood of our Envista and see what the heck is powering it. All right, guys, we got the hood prop. You do have a prop rod. Underneath the hood is that very small power plant. What is it? It's a 1.2 liter turbocharged inline 3, putting out 138 horsepower, 162 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. So that's the good thing. No CVT. 0 to 60, 9 seconds. So don't drag race anybody unless they're parked, because you're not going to win. Top speed 112 miles an hour. The vehicle weighs 3,124 pounds. MPG's really good. 28 in the city, 32 on the highway. So that's really where you got to look at what this vehicle is. We could sit here and zonk the whole vehicle, zonk the engine, zonk the this, zonk that. But you got to look at what this vehicle is and compare it for what it is, apples to apples, not apples to oranges. Or pineapples to bananas. That's just like weird. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this little 3-banger and see this Envista roll. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Buick Envista Avenir. The name of the vehicle is not Avenir, for those that don't know. The name of the vehicle is Envista. And one easy way to remember that a Buick will never be called just an Avenir is because all the Buick names, for whatever reason, start with E. Envista, Envision, Enclave. You see what they did there? E. It's all about the E. Now, for you, I know it's all about the Benjamins. And that's where I think, like I said, comparing apples to apples, when I say the price point, think about what else you could buy for the price point. So this Avenir trim of the Envista has an MSRP, the way you see it, of $30,400. Let's see how it compares to other vehicles that are $30,400. To the door panels, I do like the two-tone. What I don't like is they chose to go the cheap route and have hard black plastic up top. But I do like that silver trim on the Avenir. It's got like a scalloped design to it. And I do like that sort of like tannish gray soft touch material. The rest of it is all flat black. Door pocket is super tight. So if you're gonna get a breakfast item from Mickey D's, you're gonna have to stick to just 2 Egg McMuffins and a large coffee to wash it down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, you got more of that gray material, soft touch with the stitching. Like the way they brought some design with the shiny chrome style finish from the outside to the interior. And then as you come on in, you'll notice that you have new technology in here. That's that 11-inch infotainment system screen, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. You could go into your climate control, do everything by the touch screen. Here's your home screen, very simple, very straightforward. And then of course we throw it in reverse, there's our backup camera. I just wish it took up all 11 inches, but the resolution is clear and you do have trajectory and you have a real volume knob, which is a nice touch as well. Working our way down, you have standard AC controls, no dual climate. That's another shocker to me for $30,000, but they do give you 3 stages of heated seats, no ventilated seats. They give you the buttons for them, but it doesn't do anything. Let me shut that off because Steven's gonna start sweating if he sits in a hot seat. Look at that, they give you the buttons, but they don't do anything. Down below, USB-C, USB-A, 12 volt and wireless charging. This is gonna control your 6-speed automatic transmission. I like the silver finish that they got, the 2 cup holders. This is a place to put your Cinnabon. Mine wouldn't sit very long because I would just eat it. There is your Buick key fob with the new Buick badge. You do got remote start. Spin it around. Not very soft at all, but you know, it's better than hard plastic. Open it up. You have enough room in there. I would say 6 cheeseburgers. So since you can only put 2 Egg McMuffins in the door panel, you might get hungry before lunch and you might want a cheeseburger snack. So I'm hoping that 6 cheeseburgers will satisfy your hunger. I remember when I was a kid and we used to go into McDonald's. When I say kid, I'm talking about like 14 years old. They used to have the menu, the meal deals. I'd always go with a number 2. 2 cheeseburgers, a large fry, and a soda. And of course, I would supersize it. So you get this big old fry, plenty of artery clogging, oil and grease and everything else. But you know what? It did taste pretty good, I have to admit. I haven't had McDonald's in a long time. But anyways, continuing, like the leather on the interior, the Avenir embroidery. Look at the stitching. They did a great job on the design, the stitching, the piping. You do have manual seats for the passenger. Because I am the driver, I have 8-way adjustable seat. And like I cried about outside, the big zonk, no sunroof. But why don't you come over here? I got a flat bottom steering wheel with a Buick badge on it I want to show you. Come on over. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have a fancy dancy Avenir aluminum sill plate. Nice little touch. There's the 8-way adjustable seats for the driver. I'm 6 feet tall, and it really fits you very well. It's like you're wearing an Isotona glove that just fits perfectly. Steering wheel, I promised you flat bottom. I don't lie. There it is. Horn button could use some stitching. But other than that, I do like the Buick badge. Flat black on the switchgear. You do have a heated steering wheel, and it is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And then you have that 8-inch digital gauge cluster in the center. Nice, clean, easy to read graphics, and that's all you need. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the back seat and see if your passengers are gonna get what they need in this Envista. All right, guys, back seat area. I do like the way that leather style material goes all the way around the back, and they even do the stitching on the back, which is nice. Large pockets, easily put. I would say if we're going to the mall to get Cinnabons, we're also going to the mall to get some Auntie Anne's pretzels. So I would put 2 Auntie Anne's pretzels back there. You got a USB-C, a USB-A, and the perfect official Rubik's Cube holder. You actually slot your Rubik's Cube in there, and whenever you need it, you got easy access. What I can't believe is that I'm 6 feet tall and we got plenty of room back here, headroom. So that's a nice touch. I just wish that the passenger seat was power. And if you notice, the door panel here is all black except for the little part of the armrest. They should have made it match the door panels up front. But, finally, something soft. Charmin soft on the armrest, 2 cup holders, and look, they gave you the same great stitching as up front, so that's a good touch. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into that cargo area, because I want to take you for a spin in this Envista. All right, guys, time to get into the cargo area. Hit the button. Nice electric assist. You're going to be greeted to, believe it or not, 21 cubic feet of space, which is actually pretty plentiful, even with that Sportback design. I like the way they have this large nook. You could put 2 cartons of OJ, make mine extra pulp. On the right-hand side, you could put a little bit of a Entenmann's coffee cake. Bring that over to your grandmother's. My grandmother and I would always eat coffee cake. Every time I visit, I love coffee cake. And when I think about coffee cake, I think of my grandma. God rest her soul. But anyways, love the way you have some nice room in here. You could fold down the rear seats, 60-40 split. And by doing that, it's gonna bump you up from 21 cubic feet of space. It basically doubles it, 42 cubic feet of space. And the other big piece of the puzzle here is that you actually do have a spare, which is nice. And then watch this. Oh yeah. What do we got going on here? You could actually have it stay up like that. So if you need to hide anything, like you're putting a present, I wonder what's in here. Ooh, look at that. Nice blue. You can mount your front license plate. That'll probably kill the look of the front end of the vehicle. And then you can just bring it down like that. I wish that it dropped down. I actually thought it was going to drop down to give you more height because of the slope back design. But why don't we go ahead? Enough chit chat. I'm missing my grandmother right about now. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a little spin because guess what? She used to live right up the street from where we're filming right now. But let's hop in and go for a drive. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Buick Envista Avenir. Right away, you're gonna really enjoy the amount of space that's in here. Even for a subcompact, they really have the interior nicely set up to give you plenty of room. Doesn't have the most horsepower, but that's not what this car is about. Like I said, it's about bringing value. It's about bringing some luxury spec touches to it, and definitely a sleek exterior shape. Going down the road, they did a great job with the sound deadening material, the thickness of the side glass, and you have so much room in that cargo area, which is quite surprising for a vehicle this size. Now, if you look at price point at $30,000, like I said, you'd be looking at a Mazda CX-30, Kia Seltos, the SX trim, Nissan Kicks SV, and then of course, there's a multitude of others, the Honda HR-V, the Toyota Corolla Cross, Chevy Trax. But I think that what they tried to accomplish, they did check off a lot of boxes. Do I love the engine? No. But I do love the fuel economy from it. 28 mpgs in the city. And nice to have easy to use technology. It's not complicated. It's very intuitive. You got a really clear backup camera. And then of course you have all the safety features, right? Blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, emergency brake assist. Just would have been nice to have just a couple other things like a sunroof. But going down the highway, super smooth. And with the 6-speed automatic transmission, it gets the shifting done just fine. And unlike a lot of the other brands, doesn't have a CVT. Of course, you could also compare this to the Hyundai Kona. Just out of all the ones I mentioned, I feel like this is the best looking one. It looks like one of those SUV coupes. And for somebody who maybe is younger, that is looking to buy their first brand new car or something like that, I think this will check off a lot of boxes at this particular price point. Of course, it's front-wheel drive, not available as all-wheel drive. And just everything feels really good with it. I mean, it's got a nice feel from the steering wheel. You don't have to be concerned about driving modes and all that mumbo jumbo. Getting to the 11-inch infotainment system screen is well within reach. And even though I normally like to put my arm up here, I don't want to because it's hard plastic, but down on the actual armrest, it is softer to the touch. The handling is very predictable, and I think that you're gonna enjoy whether you're driving on a long commute on the highway or doing your daily commute around town. I think you're gonna like the way that this vehicle drives, even with the smaller displacement engine. But the 8-inch digital gauge cluster is very easy to read. And these seats are quite comfy. They look good, and they're also very comfortable as well. Maybe the worst part of it, the thing that I would want to change about the seats, is I would like the bottom seat cushion to be a little bit longer. Not wider, but just a little bit longer because I have longer legs. But like I said, visibility, even with the sleek shape, is good in here. On throttle, here we go. So you're not gonna break any land speed records, but not everybody is wanting a car that does 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, so I get it. It's just, like I said, some tweaking to just a few things would make this even, I think, feel more special being an Avenir trim. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of the 2025 Buick Envista, especially in Cinnabar, that new color. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways here in sunny Florida. Sweating my butt off, but I definitely gotta thank everybody to the Buick team getting us access to this 2025 Buick Envista Avenir in this new color called Cinnabar. I just like saying that, Cinnabar. But anyways, let me know what you think. For the price, is there a lot of value sitting here on these 4 wheels, or are you gonna take your money somewhere else? Let Buick know in that comment section, but if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raise Rise family. Of course, we need to give it up to big old Stephen Flood with his big old muscles. He's growing every day. So show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.